On deck, we've got Colin Wrigley, and right now, please welcome to the stage, PJ the Coug.
Keep it going for Trevor and all the other comedians who have been up here tonight. They've done a great job. My pronouns are dude and bruh, which means, of course, I am a man whore. And to be fair, when I was in college, my nickname was Easy Big Fella. At least that's what all the girls said. Recently heard somebody say that the Shanghai Room is like a dive bar, but we don't have pull tabs here, so I don't see how it could qualify as a dive bar. Recently saw Sinners. Anybody seen Sinners? I saw Sinners because I went to a really, really judgmental church when I was growing up, so I see sinners everywhere. So, speaking of which, I was raised in the church and was raised believing things like a man was told to murder his son in order to please God, to prove his sincerity, his faith. And I have 5 children, and I promise you right now, if I heard a voice telling me that I had to kill one of my children, I would tell that voice to go fuck itself, okay? And to be fair, if it was God, he could do it, because he could do anything. And then maybe he could stop getting all the virgins pregnant. So my cousin, I was chatting with her recently, and she told me about how when her parents separated after about 5 years, she went to court to get her visitation with her father reduced. Her father was my brother. Her father was my father's brother, and they were both kind of assholes. And I really regretted, because I didn't know that was a thing. And so I was really upset, because if I'd known I could do that, I would have done that with my father. But then she reminded me my parents never got divorced, and so that would have been more difficult. Speaking of which, on the same family side, we have an aunt who is a huge Trump supporter. And she recently said, this is so funny, because the Trump supporters, like, the conservatives hated electric cars like 5 years ago, but now that Elon is Trump's shill, they love Teslas. And so she was saying that a person who vandalizes a Tesla should get a minimum of 15 years in prison with 5 years of community service afterward. And I realized this is so weird, because if somebody had gone to a school and shot up a school, they would probably serve less time than someone damaging a Tesla. And why is it that when a school shooting occurs, it becomes a gun rights issue, and when a hurricane or a tornado occurs, it becomes like a thoughts and prayers issue? And so I concluded that the best thing to do would be to shoot Teslas, and then it's a gun rights issue and we're covered. Let's see, anybody ever hear that like you shouldn't take melatonin and a laxative simultaneously? It turns out that shit is real. I'll let that one digest for a second. Anyway, so on that same subject, I am a type 2 diabetic, and I was diagnosed about 25 years ago. And when I was developing the symptoms, like I was hungry, I was thirsty all the time, I was peeing a lot, but nobody told me I would wet the bed. And so I, one night, wet the bed and got out of bed and changed and cleaned up. And my then wife was in the bed, and so like a good red-blooded American, I crawled in on the opposite side of the bed. And so she rolled over. And in the morning, I was trying to figure out, like, how do I tell her I wet the bed? And right about the time I was going to confess, she said, "Man, you were sweaty last night." And I said, "Yes, I was." Hashtag divorced for a reason. Thank you very much, everybody.
Everybody, keep it going for PJ the Coug. Also, a reminder, please come up and vote for the Healthy Biome Award. Somebody needs to walk away with this amazing trophy.